And Trey Hendrickson and first-round draft pick Shamar Stewart are still absent as they seek to resolve their respective contract issues. But the show must go on for Joe Burrow and crew as they went through their first practice. And the star quarterback was not happy with how day one went. Let's take a listen.
Poorly.
Why do you think that was why was that case?
That's just usually how it goes. For the first day, we got a lot to clean up, but we got a lot of time, so.
Okay, Harry, poorly. And then,
other than that, though, it was fine.
And then he just looks at the camera and does that Burrow glare that I saw for 6 episodes of the QB show. Oh my gosh. We know about their defensive woes and their holdouts, but they're going to score points. Is it enough to just score points in the NFL in 2025, or do you still need a defense and be able to buckle down when it matters?
I don't think it's just going to be enough scoring points, and here's why. The year that they made the Super Bowl, they didn't have a top defense, but the defense, when they needed to get stops, got those stops. And last year, when I look at the Cincinnati Bengals, they were 25th in total defense. And when you have the inability to stop a nosebleed, it's sad, especially when you have a quarterback who threw for 4,900 yards, 43 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. It's sad in its own right, but sometimes when you look at Joe Burrow and you say, okay, he's just going to have to make it work without the defense. When is enough going to be enough? Why does all this pressure have to be on Joe Burrow? And I get it. He's an elite quarterback, and he's being compensated very, very well.
That's also how they budgeted this offseason.
Exactly.
Look at what they paid Chase and Higgins. That's what they're putting a priority on.
But if every single season we're going into it saying that, hey, Joe Burrow, we know our offensive line is the best. Figure it out. Make it work. Joe Burrow, we're allergic to running the football. Figure it out. Make it work. Joe Burrow, our defense isn't top notch. We can't stop anybody. Make it still happen, Joe Burrow. What the Cincinnati Bengals are basically saying, you know how growing up, you go to Big Mama house, right? And Big Mama say, hey, baby, the people know me at that store, that gas station. Go get my snuff. And Big Mama only gives you $2. And that's not enough. Make it enough. Come back with my snuff. That's what they basically are telling Joe Burrow. Hey, we know you need
Figure it out.
Figure it out, make it work. But when is enough going to be enough? Joe Burrow, he invites that pressure. He embraces it. But at what point is enough going to be enough? Because I don't think in today's NFL you can just outscore everybody. Your defense has to make quality stops when you need them the most.
Kevin, when you went to Big Mama's house for some snuff, the question...
I made it work every time.
Did you always?
I made it work every single time.
So I get the analogy and I get the point. Let's get to the actual Bengals, though. You follow this thing. 2025, we do see offense as a priority. The rules, they favor the offense. Everything's... Is there a way to win scoring 35 points per game in an air raid style and just saying, yeah, our defense could be 25th, but you know what? We score enough points.
No, this is not college football. This is not the old school Big 12. I'm going to give you a stat that's going to blow your mind. Last 10 years, 7 teams have 40 or more touchdown passes, okay? Cincinnati Bengals last year were the first of that group to not win a playoff game, let alone make the playoffs, okay? If you threw 40 touchdown passes, you won. The Bengals did not. That's what you need to know. They were so bad on defense and special teams, they made history. They were in rarefied air. I look at this defense, I'll tell you a story. Remember that Simpsons Monday Night Football game we did? It was so cool. Mina, Dan Orlovsky, everybody on the call. Mm-hmm. I was watching that Bengals defense, and they were like repurposed as like Mo Sizlak and Otto the bus driver or whatever. And at one point, I thought the animations were broken because they were so all over the place. And I was going, oh my God, the animation's broken. No, it was just the Bengals defense was so bad, it was making the Simpsons characters go all over the place in unnatural ways, okay? That's the Bengals defense last year, all right? And so for me, I just look at this and I say, they need Shamar Stewart in camp, they haven't done it. They need Trey Hendrickson under contract, they haven't done it. They needed to get in a time machine to figure out the Jesse Bates thing a couple years ago when we talked about the Super Bowl. He's in Atlanta now because of the contract games they play. Joe Burrow's at a massive disadvantage relative to all of his peers in the AFC, who have GMs and ownership who are all in every single year and say, what do you need? Let's go get it. Let's go get it. Brett Veach saw Patrick Mahomes in the elevator bank in Tampa Bay a few years ago, knew the offensive line needed to be changed and said, you know what?
After the Tampa Super Bowl.
He said, I'm going to change. I'm going to fix this. I'm going to fix this. Every other GM in the AFC thinks that way. The Bengals do not, okay? They're going to operate the way they do. That is a massive disadvantage.
Hey, Mark, we put him in the same conversation as Lamar and Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. Even on that top 10 list, it's like, yeah, Burrow's top 4. If they miss the playoffs for a third straight year, can we still discuss Burrow because of stats? Yes. Okay, go on. Yeah.
Listen, For me, it's behind Mahomes. Like, I'm a big Joe Burrow proponent because what you saw last year, which is he is literally playing with one arm tied behind his back because they played without a defense. Like, they could, in the games that they lost, they were scoring like 30 points per game. And you're looking at it like this team, there's no way they should be losing these games when Joe Burrow is putting up some of these performances. Jamar Chase had a phenomenal season. T. Higgins, glad they are back. The Bengals cannot afford what they are currently dealing with. As Kevin pointed out, the slow starts in September. They're the only team in the NFL where by the end of September, you're looking at them like, I don't even know if this team is going to make the playoffs. By the grace of Joe Burrow's arm, they literally in Week 18 still had a chance. And had the Chiefs started their players, maybe that playoff scenario is different for them, but they didn't. Joe Burrow is still that dude. But while Jalen Hurts gets criticized because he has too many weapons and he's and we can't really decide if he's good enough, Joe Burrow, we see the talent, but his ownership, his GM, they are not putting all the pieces around and making sure that on defense and offense, he has everything he needs to win a Super Bowl.
Wouldn't you argue, though, that, like, Josh Allen was throwing to inferior receivers than what Burrow has? It's how the team...
Fair. Listen, when Lamar Jackson was a unanimous MVP, that wide receiver room had like Miles Boykin.
No offense. No offense to the Notre Dame legend.
No offense. But when you look at the names on that list, and he was a unanimous MVP, but we criticized the Baltimore Ravens for it, you got to get him better weapons, and he was still able to do that. So I understand your point. When you're great, you're expected to carry on more of the load, but at some point, it's like, come on, guys.
Last point about that Josh Allen Buffalo Bills team last year, their defense had the ability to take the football away too.
On a beach in Jacksonville, and again, do these things, they don't count, but they matter, as my buddy Stink used to say. Like, every little tiny bit of energy needs to be going in the right direction in late July, and in Cincinnati, it feels like it's already not doing that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, everyone wants to have momentum going into the training camp, and if you're the Cincinnati Bengals, I'm sure Zach Taylor has probably been talking about this all offseason. What can I do? What can I do from a coaching standpoint or organizational standpoint to kind of rectify what's been going on the past few years? And he spoke on it about maybe playing Joe Burrow more in the preseason. They have to do something to shake the tree in Cincinnati to get this thing going.
Do we like that? Do we like playing Burrow more? He did say that. I should have mentioned it earlier. He did say they plan to use Burrow more in the preseason. Do we like that?
I love it because the last 3 seasons have told us that we got to do something differently. And another reason why I love it is when you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes is the standard from the quarterback position. Andy Reid is the best coach in the NFL. Well, if Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and those guys can go out there and play in the preseason when they've been to 5 Super Bowls in the last 6 years and won 3 of them, why can't everyone else in the NFL?
So once again, no one knows this AFC North better than you do, Kimberly Martin. What is your sense of the Bengals as they begin what feels like, I don't want to say it's a make or break season. When you have Joe Burrow, you're going to be good forever, but it feels important.
Since Joe Burrow said, listen, my